welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This episode is all about Wonder Woman 1984. This is a spoiler-free review of Wonder Woman 1984. We'll do a separate review that is spoiler-heavy. So this is now available on HBO Max for streaming and as well in theaters for places that are not suffering from COVID-19 major outbreaks. So this is, before we get into our thoughts on the movie, this is pretty unprecedented. This is easily the biggest film being sent to streaming because of the COVID-19 issue. So this is, I mean, Mulan, I think for Disney Plus was a big risk factor, right? But this one, for Warner Brothers is massive, right? Because this should have been one of their major hits, in theaters. So all that being said, what were your thoughts on at least the experience of watching a movie like this, at home?
So I am a fan of going to the cinema. I don't think movies are going to die. I think they will bounce back, and we'll be complaining about the experience in no time. But movies like this, like I really want to go to the cinema to see. Right. And boy, I'm glad I didn't, because I was not a fan of this movie. But in terms of big budget tentpole movies being available at home. I mean, being available at home is one thing, right? Like, a couple of movies did that this year where you had to pay for them. Mm-hmm. You had to pay like $20 to watch it for 2 days. Right. This is available for 30 days if you already have if you have a subscription that you probably already have. Right. It's really unprecedented. And I think movies like this are what that service model is for. Because and see, there's no way to know, right? Like that's the thing. Like in hindsight, like, boy, I'm glad I didn't see this in the theater. But if this came out in the theaters and it was safe to go, I would have went.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have too.
So, God works in mysterious ways.
Sure. Okay, I guess, man. Wow. So let's get into our thoughts on the movie. I'll go first. This was bad. This is not a mediocre movie. This is bad. Like, to me, this is a bad comic book movie. That's what I'll say. It's a bad comic movie. I've definitely seen worse, but it's a bad comic book movie. And before people say, oh, well, it's because it's not Marvel. I loved the first Wonder Woman movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was their best, like DC's best, or at least top two. I thought it was great, except for the last fight scene of the first movie. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought the action sequences were good. The character development was great. I mean, I didn't think Gal Gadot's acting was amazing. She's not much of an actress anyway. No offense. But she handled the role, right? Like they put her around Chris Pine, who's a really charismatic, good actor. And it worked. It super worked. And I was really looking forward to this and seeing them go further, because origin stories can be limiting, obviously. No, I was unbelievably disappointed by this. It was a mess. It felt very hodgepodge put together. It didn't flow very well. The action sequences were abysmal, in my opinion. The CGI was terrible. And the story, you and I talked offline. This is the first time we're actually talking, like, quote unquote, face to face about it. But I said that I had, like, the script was convoluted, and you corrected me, and I think you're correct in saying that it's not convoluted. It's just contrived. And that's exactly right. Like, The story is silly as hell. Like, and we'll talk more about that. But I was not a fan. I will never watch this again. Never.
Yeah. Yeah, disappointed is the word of the day, because that is what I was. I was really excited for this, and I'm not some huge like Wonder Woman mark, like some huge fan, but I like the character. I like the concept of the character, and quite frankly, when I went to see the first Wonder Woman, I was sitting there I was in the middle. My wife was to the left of me. Some stranger was to the right, some white woman. And not that had anything to do with, anyway, some woman. I'm a racist. Some woman was.
Well, I was just like, so there, white woman.
Some woman was sitting next to me. And when the theme kicks in No Man's Land,
yeah,
this woman next to me, who's like in her mid 40s, right? She is grinning like a kid, and she is getting visibly excited for this, and I want that for people. Yeah,
that scene is awesome.
It is like that's like that communal feeling that we all get when a movie is hitting it, right? Yeah. Like that's why I love going to the movies. And I really didn't get that with this, man. And I'm not even upset that the movie, I'm not upset about the silliness of the movie. Like, these are two very different movies.
No, they don't even feel like they're in the same universe.
They don't feel. My wife asked if the same people did this movie that did the previous movie. That's how different these movies feel. Yeah. But I don't mind that, right? I don't mind them being different. I don't mind them trying new things.
Right, because even though the creative team is different, like first Captain America, First Avenger to Winter Soldier feel like very different films.
They're very different movies, right? What I do mind is too many plot contrivances. Right. Just I can accept a few. There's a whole character that's a plot contrivance, right? And it
I didn't like anything to do with
anything that he did. And there is just too much going on. I've seen comparisons to this being the Batman Returns of this franchise. And
good
the comparisons are there, man.
Good. Because guess what? That movie ain't good either.
It's not, man.
It's not.
And the comparisons are apt, right? Like Cheetah is Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Like, she is from top to bottom.
And Max Lord is not that different in like the over the top way that Danny DeVito played the Penguin. Like,
right. He's a combination of the Penguin and Max Schreck.
Yeah.
Like, so, and being compared to Batman Returns is not a good thing in my opinion, but the movie is doing too much. The movie is overly long.
2 hours and 30 minutes is insane.
I don't like a long movie, but I don't mind a long movie if I'm being, entertained. There's way too many scenes that just, I'm like, why? What's the point of this, right? And when the movie starts, I don't mind a dumb movie. Like, people are like, oh, it's just a dumb movie about a wishing rock and all that. Like, I don't mind a dumb movie, but when your plot is forcing me to think. It's forcing me to think about things. I can't not do it.
Right. The way that the plot is so contrived, there are things that start to not make sense. And it's not just like, not like that weird nitpicky, like, but if they go back in time, then what about like, I'm not talking about characters off screen. I'm talking about the things on screen that like the rules, like we are already at a comic book. We're already in a comic book movie. I already understand that there's an island, a secret island of women who are amazing fighters and all this other stuff. I understand all that. I understand that, in this universe, there's all, special powers and all stuff. We're all here. We all read comics and all this other. We all are there. That's why we're in the theater for this stuff. My issue is then play in those rules. Like, just play in those rules. When you start to kind of come up with plot devices that just start pulling you out of those rules, or keep trying to stretch the rules and give characters powers that they've never had before, and you just kind of shrug them off as like no big deal because plot. That's when the movie starts to have major issues. Can we talk about the action sequences?
Well, before we do that, I want.
And again, we're not going to talk spoilers because trust me, we're recording our spoiler conversation directly after this because we can't wait to talk about the details of this.
I want to get some positivity in here real quick.
Start with love.
Pedro Pascal knows what movie he is in, and he's doing it. Right.
That's not really a positive when you realize that when you watch the movie. But yes, I understand. He is chewing up scenery because that's exactly what his character is designed to do.
Right. He is giving it his all. Right.
Yeah. I like that guy though, man. Like he has a way of presenting this character who is ridiculous in a lovable idiot sort of way that I kind of liked.
Right. The Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
I thought she was fine.
Didn't hate her performance at all.
Yeah, I thought she was fine. She's a better actor than the main actor. So
I would argue that she's the worst one. The main actor.
I mean, that's not really an argument, right? Like,
no, I know, but look, people are gonna be mad to say that. But look, here I'm gonna say something that may be offensive to some people. Chris Pine carried her through that first movie. He did.
Yeah.
He did. That's why he was there. That's why
he's in the second movie, guys.
Right. Like he is. And look, and it's not like I don't like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I don't think she's bad I think she fits the role as far as what they want, like physically and the look and everything. But they decided to go aesthetic. So it's the best example of like style over substance. They didn't pick somebody who had the look and could act. They picked the person who had the look, and then acting was second, and it shows. And it especially shows in this one where they're trying to give her more to do from an acting perspective. Like, again, not to be a dick about it, but Chris Pine did carry her, especially through those like first two acts of the first movie. And in this one, they're like, I guess let's figure out a way to bring him back, which is
we're gonna get all right.
Dude, what? All right. I don't understand how any of that got through the like editing process. Like, there's no one like, this is a terrible idea. Like, come on, this doesn't make any sense. So overall, and I think this is where we'll end it and do our spoiler review. Overall, I thought this was incredibly disappointing and like bad. I can't believe this was the thing that they put out. Like, I thought this movie was going to be a fucking banger. Like, I just thought it would be after seeing the first one. One quick thing though, and this is a thing that a lot of people may not realize. You know what? I'll save it because there's some information about like some sort of behind the scenes stuff that I do want to talk about. I'll save that for the other review. Any final thoughts on this?
You're allowed to like what you like,
yeah,
and I'm allowed to not like what I don't like. If this did it for you, I'm happy. These are just two guys' opinions, and I really wanted to like this movie, but I was incredibly disappointed by it, and there's no way that I'm watching it again.
Yeah, no, that's correct. All right, so there you go. I know you don't want to do a number score. I'll do one. I'm giving this a 2 out of 5. Yeah, I don't think it's good. All right. Oh, by the way, Wonder Woman 3 has already been fast tracked. So,
of course. And look, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'll watch it. I want them to redeem themselves. This is ridiculous. Yeah. I don't want to write.
I want this movie to be. I want this franchise to be what they thought it was going to be with this movie.
I don't know how to take that. I just want it to be good. I just want it to be good. I don't want more of this. I want more of the first movie. Like that. Yeah. That's my whole thing. I just want more. Like, I liked the brightness of this, but I did not like the goofball unseriousness of it. Like, it just felt like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it just did not feel like they took it seriously. And that was disappointing to me. Probably the most disappointing part of it. So,
all right.
There you go. That is our review for Wonder Woman 1984. Look forward to our spoiler review for the same movie coming in a couple of days. All right. Later, guys.
See you.
Bye.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.